Welcome back to the channel, your boy CPT the farmer. Today we are back, we are harvesting. It's an exciting time, it's a harvest time, guys. This project, we never thought we will reach this day where we are harvesting because of we've been through so much. And before I continue with the harvesting, I just wanna go back and show you the old footage of this project when we started from the beginning. What we went through. This video is going to be a time lapse of some weekly update of this project. We're gonna start from week 1 where we were having a lot of bad weather. We had strong wind because of we transplanted this thing during winter, in the middle of winter, but they survived. Week 1 they were not promising, but by week 3 here they were looking good, they were looking nice. At this time we were focusing on nitrogen. We give them manure, chicken manure. We don't fertilize, we only use organic material. We amended our soil with compost at the beginning, and we also add some chicken manure so that it can help our tomato with some nitrogen. So at this point it was 4 weeks, I think, and they were starting to flower. And now if you are fertilizing using fertilizer, this time you need to concentrate on giving them calcium and some boron so that they can have a good pollination. And calcium, it can help so that you can avoid blossom and rot, which is something that we didn't do in here because of we are not fertilizing, so we couldn't fight things like blossom and rot. But they were doing good here. They were 5 weeks old, they were starting to fruit, and they were giving us some flowers. If you can see at the back, that side of this side, you can see we have a mustard spinach which is flowering. We left this on purpose so that we can attract some bees to come and pollinate our tomatoes. So we let those spinach to grow flower on purpose. So this how they were looking like from 5 weeks old. So now at this point they were now 6 weeks old. I was coming in here, I prune them so that they don't touch the ground, and I also give them support by balancing them. In this video we're going to see that I have a video which I have done doing this thing, teaching you step by step what I do in here. But in here just a recap of what went through during this project, the things that I did. So I had to add also this one to show you that I did prune this tomato, which it was a big mistake because of this tomato is determinate, so you are not supposed to be pruning. You just have to let it grow bushy so that it can provide you with more fruits. Because of it only grow for a season, it's not going to grow for a long time, so you can't afford to be breaking branches like I do here. But I had to do it to avoid diseases. So because of we didn't mulch, if we had mulch in here, maybe we could have let them rest on the mulching plastic or on whatever material we mulch with, so they're going to do comfortably there and not touch the soil, so we could have avoided diseases by that. So now we prune them and they were skeletal as you see, and now it's time for us to come and provide with a balance, trellising, balancing, staking, providing support, whatever name you call it. That's what we were doing in here. This was 6 weeks old. Yes, we were having some bad weather this time around. The surrounding cities, they were having some snow which lasted for a week, and from that snow it affected us with black frost, so these tomatoes went through. So we never thought we will even get to the harvesting part, but we kept on giving them water. We are not fertilizing anything of sort. This is just putting this thing in the soil and giving them water. uh, so we also protect them from pest and disease by doing the practices that you see, like pruning, balancing, spraying. So those are the things that we also did in here. Now we were on 7 weeks old. This is how they were looking like after being pruned, and the tomatoes were now becoming big. So now I'm going to also do what we call Florida wave or Florida style, whereby I balance this thing using a trellis line and making a zigzag wave, which they call a Florida wave. I have a specific video for this tutorial here. You can go and check that video. So I had to add also this part in here just to show you things that we do when you grow tomato. Yeah, just trying to be transparent and give everyone information and everything that I do without hiding any information. I've tried to check some information from other content creators. People, they hide what they use to fertilize, how they spray, what the product they use. They don't tell you, they don't show you. But in here we show you everything, and I do tell you, and I don't hide anything. So as I say, I didn't fertilize in here. This was just letting God do his work. These things have been grown by our elders before without this fertilizer, so we can still do it. And this is going to be the project that proves that to those who are critical in starting, thinking that if they don't have fertilizers and those chemicals, they cannot do it. When you live in Africa, especially Southern Africa, you know your soil is already fertile. You don't need the fertilizers. You just amend your soil with some compost and just balance it with certain things. And you can, if you fertilize, you can just go organic, use things like fish fertilizer. You can make your homemade. I've done video showing you how I do my moringa fertilizer using some cannabis and using some aloe vera. So you can check those videos. You can do this thing without the fertilizers, guys. This thing is doable. This thing is simple. So at this point, if you are fertilizing with those fertilizers, chemicals, one, you must now use a fertilizer that is balanced, because of you must concentrate on nitrogen. Also, you must concentrate on phosphorus, potassium. Your NPK must be balanced so that this project or your plants continue to grow with all nutrients they need. But with us, it's water, pure water, and a hope from God and our prayers. That's what we do in the backyard farm. Remember, we are just learning. Maybe, just maybe in the future, we're gonna get into the fertilizer if we know, but we would have known the experience without those things at first. In the meantime, we are looking this way. This is how they were looking after being pruned and after being balanced. We didn't balance everything because of we ran short of the poles there, so some plants were not balanced. And if you can see this first row here of tomato, this line here is not being pruned, it's bushy. We let it just to experience and do our own trial, see if we don't mess with it, if you don't touch it, how far or how it's going to produce, and we're going to compare with the one that we balanced and pruned. So yes, this is how they were looking, flowering and fruits getting bigger. And at this time we were noticing that we having some blossom and rot, which it was too late to even fight it, because of if it's already there, you cannot do anything about it. But what I've noticed when it comes to blossom and rot, it only happens to the first cluster of tomatoes. So don't have to panic when you see it. The rest of the tomato, when they come, they're going to be okay. 3 or 2 tomatoes on the first cluster of your tomatoes is going to have blossom and rot most of the time. That's what I've seen since I've started growing tomatoes. So this is the now they were on 8 weeks. They were looking fresh, guys. They were now starting to show some ripen, and we were now cleaning in here and providing water, nothing else. And we sprayed in here twice. Unfortunately I don't have the footage of me spraying, but I have the video. You can check where I sprayed this thing completely and show you what I used. The product is there, the name is there. I gave them a free market. So yes, at this point we were now starting to get ready to harvest. Now this tomato were transplanted on the 9th of August, so they were very very early with ripen because of we harvested in here uh 3 weeks earlier. 3 weeks earlier we were harvesting. So I'm going to come in here and tell you how much money I'm gonna make and how much produce we're gonna get from this project of 700 tomato plants in the backyard. I'm going to give you the money, the update. I'm gonna come back with a video of the first money I make, and I'm gonna do the another video on the money in the middle of production, and from there the last video about the money or on the last harvest, and calculate everything and tell you how much you can make with 700 tomato plants doing organic farm, growing this thing cheaply, easily, with no money. So this is just another proof to show that you can do farming without money. You can start without money. From here you can now make money and start to invest and buy things. If you come for the next cycle, you can now use your fertilizer if you want, because of remember the soil also need to be amended. When you keep on growing, the minerals in the soil also like reduces, so you must amend. If there's a need for you to use fertilizers, at that point you must find a way to use your fertilizers. But in here, this is our second year of farming, we can even consider the fertilizers yet. We must enjoy the minerals from the soil before we go for the fertilizer. So this was our first harvest. This tomato went through so much. The weather was not on our side, it was winter, and yes, we managed. So thank you for tuning in. I'm going to give you another update with another project in my backyard of 250 tomato plants. In there I'm gonna give you the things that I did from week 1 until last week of harvest. You're gonna see all those things. Thank you. I'm out.